This is Sarah, block editor. I'm here with Jeff Treves, one of your Neo Tokyo council members and the founder of BirthmarkAPP. This series of interviews is designed to introduce citizens to their council leads and notable members of the community. So we're going to jump right in. First of all, welcome, Jeff. Good to have you on again.
Hey, thanks for having me. Great to be here.
All right, so we've done this one a while ago with the Meet Your Citizens article, but we're doing it again. So start me off with you pre-crypto. Give us all your pre-crypto background.
Okay, I've been in and out in a lot of art forms throughout the years. I've done tattoos, I've done animation and illustration. I've done some music on my own, unprofessionally, or maybe semi-professionally. And before crypto, I was working as an animation director at a YouTube company. They had a YouTube Kids channel. I was directing the animation that was being produced in there. And they ghosted me during the COVID, which is the time I got into crypto for the first time at the beginning of 2021. And as soon as I learned about the tech, I got really excited and I wanted to build a project here other than just existing in it as an artist.
Okay, and I have to dig into the illustration history because you have Disney, Mattel, Scholastic, Fisher-Price. You have some big names on your bios here. Tell us a little more about that.
Well, I didn't really work for those companies directly, but I worked for the projects of those companies because they outsource most of their work to other studios, and I worked in those studios. I've done Scholastic, Fisher-Price, and they had these DVDs that they were turning to kids' tales into short animations. I think they were called Read With Me DVDs. It was an old DVD time at the beginning of 2000s. So I've done a lot of animated shorts for them. Clifford the Big Red Dog. I've done some Dr. Seuss episodes. I've done a story called Giraffes Can't Dance. And yeah, I started working for Disney much later than that. I was the head of script writing and animation pre-production supervisor for one of their kids channel series called Limon and Ollie for about a year. And I've done some illustration for work for Mattel while I was working for Ülkütay Design, which is another illustration studio based in Turkey.
Quite a lineup for an illustrator. And now you are the tattoo guy, as we all know it. But before we get into what you're doing now, what was the moment that you got into crypto?
Well, like I said, I had a good job. I wasn't working many hours a day. I was making decent money, and I was suddenly ghosted by my company during COVID. And I tried to do some freelance work like animatics for TV ads and stuff like that. But COVID was a very shocking time. Nobody knew what was going to happen. So it wasn't like I could just suddenly switch to working from home. It needed some transition. And it was right about the time when Bitcoin was starting making headlines again. And I was always interested in Bitcoin because I kept hearing about it at each cycle without realizing it. And then I told my environment, my parents, my friends, like, hey, we should invest in this a little, and gathered some money collectively and started buying and selling stuff first on centralized exchanges, and then bought a Doge Pound NFT. It was my first NFT, and then I started minting some NFTs and this, and it was a very fast time during then, and within 3 to 6 months, I was all in it anyways. But it's not like I started with trading or speculating when I first got into crypto. Like I said, when people told me how the technology worked and what NFTs are, it suddenly made sense to me because I'm a digital artist who has been doing work since the beginning of 2000s. My work has been duplicated and monetized out of my consent thousands of times. And I always thought that digital art needs a system that makes sense for the internet, because this infinite replicatability doesn't make sense economically for artists. So when I heard about NFTs, it just clicked with me, and I started reading more into financial and technical documents about the industry. So I read like a 200-page Citibank report about the future of Bitcoin. And I started learning some JavaScript first to understand how smart contracts work. And the more I kept diving into it, made it easier for me to communicate with the developers and other people that I was going to work in the future for Birthmark Tattoo.
Amazing. And give us the story of how you got into Neo Tokyo, because that's the one we all want to hear.
Well, I was in Doge Pound and didn't know what was going on. Prices were very volatile. I was getting airdrops. These are not stuff that I'm used to from pre-crypto era. And it was first really exciting and kind of stressful, but I just was going for anything that I could find because I didn't have any thoughts when I stepped into this space. I wanted to be really open. And that's when I discovered, first of all, when you get into crypto, you start with YouTube. At least in 2021, it was like that. So first you discover Johnny Crypto, and you discover Elio Trades, and you discover Alex Becker. And Alex Becker actually made some great calls, first with the Doge Pound, and then with some other collections. And I actually started making money through these calls. And when he launched a project, I was following Becker long enough to know that, yeah, all right, this guy has an online act, but at the same time, he's really smart and he's genuine if you know how to read him on his videos or on his posts. So I tried my luck, and also I had some friends that were helping me a lot from the Doge Pound community. And the reason I got into crypto is because purely by luck, and because people helped me a lot.
And at what point did you get in? Did you go through the riddles? Did you get in later on second?
Yeah. I was in group 3, I think. Yeah, and I minted. And my cousin was about to mint, and he just missed the gas price with just a few dollars, which was really sad at the time. I bet a lot of people went through the same thing. Again, like I could have not enough gas during that day on my wallet too. So it was pure luck. I was just following my instincts, and I got a lot of help from outside. And I was just lucky, I guess. And I was at the right time at the right place.
Amazing. So bring us up to speed now. You've been in it since day one. What have you done for Neo Tokyo, or what are you doing for Neo Tokyo now?
Well, I've done countless projects for builders within Neo Tokyo, including Citizen Capital. I designed their Transcendence collection. I've designed another collection for them. I think it's unreleased yet. I'm working actively on the Kingdom game, and there are another project stemming out of Neo Tokyo. And I worked for the design division and the Neo Tokyo Vision for a while. I also done artwork directly for Neo Tokyo, which there are like 10 unreleased epic illustrations that I painted within a year, and they were all saved for the upcoming riddles this fall and the period after that. So it's like 10 of my best illustrations are not even published yet. And then I got into the Neo Tokyo Council because I love this community. The hardest thing for me to get in my pre-crypto era was network, because first of all, I'm based in Turkey, Istanbul. There's not a lot of big animation studios here. And Neo Tokyo really first gave us this chance to network. And then secondly, it's the only unique semi-autonomous community structure that you can find in the NFT space. A lot of projects claim to be for, they're run by their communities or their DAOs or this and that, but I've never seen any place like NeoTokyo. Like, because when NeoTokyo was first formed, we were told, all right, here's a server for you, here's a setup, do whatever you want. There's nothing. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to do anything for you. We're not going to move a finger. You're just going to build here and network. And this is exactly what people did. And this is exactly how all these divisions came to life. So I think, I'm glad to be a part of those and pretty much worked in many areas since then.
I agree. It's been an amazing experience building a network. I don't think before getting in, I even realized I needed one until I had one. And then I saw how important it was. Now, roll us into your current focus. I know you've got BirthmarkAPP. Tell us about that, and tell us where your time goes outside of NT.
Well, Birthmark is my main focus actually since March 2021, because that's when I decided to build a marketplace exclusively for tattoo industry. I had a website where I used to sell tattoos online before crypto, but the system is very crude, and tattoo trade has many moving parts in real life. So I realized blockchain, first of all, shares the same DNA with tattoo industry because they want to be permanent and immutable. And also tattoo industry never had a true e-commerce model. And I think if we can unlock e-commerce for the tattoo industry, the global volume can go crazy very quickly. And I think there's a demand for that that I saw when I was running my previous website. And I think blockchain solves all the problems that Web 2 cannot solve for trading tattoos online. So we started building this project on March 2021, and we haven't stopped. And me joining to NeoTokyo and staying that long, not selling the top or something in the last cycle, is all connected to my passion for Birthmark, because I want this project to be successful. And for me to be successful, I'm going to need a lot of help. I'm going to need a lot of support, networking. And I was trying out different NFT communities to make these type of connections anyways. And that's why I'm saying NeoTokyo is unique, because I stayed here when I found that type of circulation within NeoTokyo. And we launched our website a couple of months ago on BaseChain. So right now you can buy tattoos online, which means you're buying the design NFT plus the real life inking session with one click. And when you buy a tattoo on Birthmark, let's say for $1,000, the artist gets paid the design portion immediately, which is $500, and the inking portion on the day of the inking session. And everything is locked in the smart contract in a way that the buyer controls the funds. And you can also speculate on tattoos if you want to buy them, sell them on secondary. And if you buy a tattoo that's been inked before, you can always request another inking session from the original artist. For that, we built a standard for online tattoo assets, online tattoo collectibles, which is called a properties box on each NFT. And it has 3 attributes. It shows the status of the tattoo. If it's pristine, it's never inked before. It's still fresh. And if it's inked once in real life, it says inked. The status turns inked. And there's an inked count, which starts with 0 and shows how many times the tattoo was inked in real life. And also there's an expiration date for you to contact the artist and get an appointment for that tattoo. So we try to imagine everything that takes place in real world when you're buying a tattoo, and reflected everything on change on the blockchain, and keeping everything, every action in tattoos history, which in time we're hoping is going to create living, breathing tattoos with a long history behind them.
Amazing. It sounds interesting to me. I don't have any tattoos, so I'm not really in that world. But the whole idea of being able to buy your tattoos, even globally, from someone who's designed it across the other side of the world is really interesting and exciting to me. And that kind of leads me into your main expertise? Now, it seems like you're an illustrator by trade here, but why is someone going to reach out to you as a council member in Neo Tokyo? You know, what would you be able to give advice on or help with?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm always open to give support and advice on anything that I, know good. And those are usually, first of all, animation, 3D animation, production, and illustration. But since I've been working on Birthmark heavily for the past 3 years, I learned a lot about some strategies, some basic marketing principles, what to focus on when you're trying to build a product, which I made a lot of mistakes that I'm realizing right now. I can't always help if people know about these things less than me. And if they want to get some expert advice on, how to hire artists, how to communicate with artists, or if you're an artist, how to get hired and how to communicate with the employers, and what to expect in a production, because my best ability is optimizing a production that I join. So animation is a lot of work. It has a lot of labor. When I get into a studio, first I start cutting out some unnecessary operations and actually really speed up the process. So these type of things are usually things that founders who like to hire artists don't know. They like the art area is a very blurry area for them, starting from how much should it cost, and if this artist is good, or if they're going to keep up with their word, and this and that. So I have more than 20 years of experience on that, and I could give the best advice on those areas probably.
Amazing. Appreciate that. And I'm sure a lot of others will appreciate getting that type of advice from a professional like you. Now, here's a question. Why join the council? What is your goal for being on the council?
Birthmark, birthmark, birthmark. Everything is for birthmark. And until that is successful, or for some reason that we can't find a product market fit or something, that's why I'm doing everything, so that I have more connections. And since I get most connections from Neo Tokyo, I would like to give back Neo Tokyo the most. And, when you join the council, you're getting connections and you're serving to a place that you benefit from at the same time. I think it's a win-win situation. And Neo Tokyo is a great place. I'd like to help it as much as I can. I'd like to help it to grow. I'd like to see it, live and prosper for decades to come, because I really believe in this technology and this new system. Even though it's very crowded with Ponzi's and other stuff right now, I think the promise and the fundamentals of it is going to prevail in the long run. So yeah, for Birthmark and for Neo Tokyo, they're important for me at this point.
That actually leads me to a secondary question. You are just a beast in the council chat and elsewhere in the community. You do so much work that I don't even know the scope of it. How can the community help you with Birthmark? Are you guys onboarding artists? Is there any simple kind of thing in your tattoo network that the community can help you with?
Well, we know that we're proposing a change in consumer behavior, which is really hard. But at the same time, DJs should be aware that at least 1 in every 3 people have tattoos in the world globally. So tattoos, in my opinion, should have been a great meta in the crypto space already. But the reason that it hasn't been doesn't mean that it's not going to be. So if you guys want to support us, follow us. We're organizing an online global tattoo competition with juicy prizes, both for artists and for DJs. And our reason to do that is to fast track onboarding tattoo artists to blockchain and to Birthmark, because I think tattoo art and artists is great, great, great content and culture. And crypto community have a lot of other features and resources that can benefit to the tattoo industry. So if we can bring these together there's going to be a huge ignition, and it's going to benefit all of us. We have a lot of collections and products out there that a lot of Neo citizens already own. So just by helping us get the word out with this upcoming tattoo competition, which we will start rolling out on August 1st, I think you would benefit and support us a lot. And in return, as an investor and as a speculator, we can benefit you as well, add value to your assets.
I love it. Okay, now since you're on the council, you get our hardest question, which is we need one word to associate with you. This can be anything. It can be your trade. It can be your personality, but we need one word to associate with Jeff Treves.
One word. Wow. I never
one word. You can take this up with Blockchain Meta. This is his question, and it has stumped everybody.
Okay, I would say sincerity.
Sincerity. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the most important thing that I value, because since I was a kid, I always hate contradiction and insincerity. So I put a lot of emphasis and importance on that. And I see a lot of insincere people getting really successful economically around us, and a lot of sincere people are not getting the attention. I'm not going to say they deserve, because who knows what deserve who. But from a personality perspective, I think sincerity is what I care about the most. So if I was going to say something about myself, I would say I try to be sincere at all times.
I think it's an excellent choice, and in this space, it's always appreciated because it's so obvious when you see a lack of sincerity in people and their downfall. So, well, I shouldn't say obvious. It takes a while to find out, but when you do find out, it is a hard thing to swallow. All right, last question. Take us outside of work. You do a lot, so you might not have an answer to this, but do you have any hobbies outside of what you do for work?
Well,
anything from sports to whatever, you name it.
Yeah, well, I have a rock band, and we've been recording and writing songs since 2017. We have an album that we released in 2017. Actually, we've been together since 2012. But since it's just a hobby, it goes very slow. But we are actually about to come up with our second album. So I am going to start recording the vocals for that. All the instruments are recorded. And if I could do just one thing in this life, I would do music, because it's instantly rewarding. It's a performance art where you get the reaction on, live. And when you're doing animation or illustration, it's a dead art. You draw, you erase, you do undos and this and that, and you work for like a month or 3 months, and then you show it to people and they just like clap and say bravo, and that's what you get. But when you're making music, even it's just you in the room, you are hearing that sound, and if you do a good sound, it just like entertains you. So I'm focusing on our album right now, and I think it's the most exciting thing other than all the stuff that I talked so far.
Working on your second album, I definitely didn't know that one, and I think I've heard at least 7 citizens tell me they're musicians on the side. So I'm just going to put this out there. Maybe it's time for a Neo Tokyo band to get together.
Yeah. I mean, we wrote the Neo Tokyo. We recorded the Neo Tokyo song during the first tournaments like 2 years ago. It's still up on YouTube.
All right, so we need a music channel somewhere in the Citadel, and I want to see the Neo Tokyo band at the 4th anniversary event.
Well, there's Music Mainnet actually. They stream sometimes inside Neo Tokyo, and I think they also have a website. I think it was called neotokyo.fm or something. I don't want to mislead people right now, but they also have a radio website where you can listen all their work.
I love it. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. This is Sarah, Block Editor. Today we had Jeff Treves on Meet Your Citizens, and we will be back next week with another episode.